Oh shit! I got that J piece there. So theoretically, I could have gotten out of that one, but yeah, that's mostly theoretical. Come on. Oh, come on. Yeah. Nah, that was bad. Oh, oh. Getting long bars like a lot. Okay. I was almost about to do the spin there, but then I remembered, yeah, not gonna work. This is yeah, Game Boy Tetris is like it's it's different. You could say it's easier than NES, so like because of the speed is like not that high, but it's different. Let's say that. No, nice. Ooh, that was super nice. Mm. Come on. Oh, yes, 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 yes. Ah, pussy burn. I don't know why didn't I put the long bar to 9. I seriously have no explanation for it. Okay. Nice. And now we get to level 20 speed, but the points are still pretty low. But yeah, this is the max speed you're gonna get on this game, except if you're gonna use the level L start. But yeah, on the original game, this is the fastest speed you get.
I was having a nap one day. I very rarely nap, and a friend of mine who lives halfway across town charges into my room and screams, "Do you have a phone book?" I was so dazed and confused that I didn't even consider asking why and just gave him the book. Years later, at his wedding, I gave him a phone book of my new town. I will never forget the nap that got away. I have questions. 1. Why, if he lives halfway across town, did he charge into your room? 2. Why did he need a phone book? 3. People still use phone books? I'm a pretty heavy sleeper, especially after a night of drinking.
Let's charge up the scores a little bit. I mean, like,
I woke up when a security
get
officer entered my room and started yelling at me.
higher level.
Why are you still here? Didn't you hear the alarm? I was still in bed
Ooh!
at that point, and I just looked at him and said, I didn't hear it, I was sleeping. He then tells me that the fire alarm was set off in my room and started rattling off questions. Were you smoking, microwaving, toasting, lighting incense? I told him, no, dude, I just told you I was sleeping. You literally woke me up. At this point, I could tell he was getting a bit frustrated, but so was I. He then tells me, get up, you need to go outside with the others. I
Yeah.
responded, well, can I at least get dressed? I'm not wearing boxers. After that, he finally left, and I put on some underwear and my robe and went outside. It turned out my smoke alarm was defective, which is why it set off the system and why I couldn't hear it as loudly as everyone else. It wasn't necessarily a stupid reason to wake me up, but at the time I was super annoyed because it sucked to wake up to a security guard yelling at you early in the morning. My girlfriend woke me up to tell me
But
the
yeah,
toilet
it's
was
like the
clogged and
lining
asked if
out,
I could help. Walked into
like
the
on
bathroom, watched her use the plunger to
this
unclog
one
the
isn't
toilet,
like
and
that
walked back
bad.
into bed as she said thank you for the help. Long-serving EMT.
I
Been
usually
woken up on a shift at Lord knows what hours for. Toe pain for 4
like to
weeks.
go for
Gangbang walked
Tetris is
through.
like
The patient who wanted to ask if she could
when you
take
get some
aspirin.
points
Picked
for
the
them
same guy
also.
up for the 4th time in 24 hours for no reason. People who had nightmares. The list is endless. All young, otherwise healthy people with nothing emergent or immediate happening to them. It's my job. I was on shift, so I shouldn't really care.
But yeah.
When you work 24, 36, and 48-hour shifts, those 10-minute naps are a blessing. 1 hour's a full night's sleep, and anything over that a miracle. I was once woken at 3 a.m. to repair a barn door in the freezing cold because horses are bastards. Human resources. What's the pettiest, what the hell, complaint that you've had to deal with? I was doing temp work at a heating, AC, and
But
plumbing
basically,
company,
I
answering the phones and
should
stuff.
like
But there was this one girl that
best
just
way to
hated
max
me.
out
I guess I was too
is
happy
to
to be
line out,
employed.
kind of
Anyway, I go in one day, and the owner wants me
theoretically
into
at
the
least. But
office. I have to get a
it's when
substance
the
test
game
done
goes
because I'm
like
too energetic
longer
and I
than
blow my nose frequently.
50 minutes,
I'm a
then you're
gluten
starting
person
to
and I have allergies. The results come back negative,
feel a little
the
bit
owner apologizes, and I quit on the spot.
fatigued.
That's right, Toby Flendersons of the world, we're reading your stories today. I, for
And
one,
there is
cannot
like,
wait to see the depths of petty crappiness
I feel
displayed
like,
by
yeah,
the bored and unsatisfied
yeah, at
office
some point
workers.
you
He doesn't
you
say,
do want to
worry to
take the
me.
Tetrises
My boyfriend's boss pulled
when
out
you
in
can.
one day. Why don't you say
Uh,
hello and ask me how I am? It
oh,
was
I have
like,
to.
really? My gosh, I've got a similar
Oh, but
complaint from
nice,
the
I can
military
get this
once.
one there.
I was
And
in Iraq, stationed on a base where we, the army, worked with the Marines. I was guarding one of our top secret facilities and had been on duty an hour or two. Suddenly, this random Marine came up to me, irate. You're so rude, he said to me. I've passed by you at least 3 times and you haven't said hello to me once. At the time, I was flabbergasted by this complete stranger being mad at me for not doing something I in no way considered part of my job. I didn't know how to respond. I wish I'd had the wits to point out that I was a soldier on guard duty, not a frickin' hostess at Applebee's. I don't know if it was a cultural thing, maybe he was from the South, or a gender thing because I'm a
ah,
female and therefore expected to be sweet or something.
I thought
I
that
just
was
couldn't understand why people were
somehow
servicing
saw
my waist
that
as
was
if
gonna be
someone
like
on duty
triple,
could be
and
to and from
that's
the
why I made the
meetings at passers-by.
adjustment. But
I mean, I've done the hostess
for
thing and I've
for a
even given
double,
boyfriend
it's like
moments
there's no
appropriate. But when my
point on
orders
making
are
the
use
adjustment.
deadly
Like you get
force if
like
necessary to
only a
protect the
few hundred
room
points.
and to not make our customers feel at home, I just don't expect people to complain about me not saying hello every time they walk past me. This was 12 years ago.
Okay.
I'm still mad. Now, some of you have written to me to point out that in marine culture, the greasing of the day is actually a real thing. I honestly never realized that. I just told this story to my husband, who was also in the army and did 2 tours in Iraq. His first reaction to my story was, what the frick was that guy's problem? But after I mentioned the greasing of the day that y'all told me about, he said, oh, yeah, that makes
Come on.
sense.
Okay, okay,
Like
okay.
me, he never experienced that after basic training. He was in a very different kind of unit than I was too. So I think this was just an Army or Marines culture clash thing. I'm grateful to those who kindly informed me of this. Okay, this is weird, but I have to say that I did experience one manager who I legitimately made this complaint about. He would walk in every morning and go straight to the girls working in the handwork area and be super friendly, bring them coffee, lots of cheerful greetings, then walk to my station. I'd say good morning and he'd grunt and walk on by. Never a friendly word to me, but constant friendliness to the girls. I was fully competent in my job, by the way, still am. After a few months of this, I was called into a meeting with his boss for a regular interview. He asked me why I
I
wasn't
wanted
seeking help
TPs.
with the manager. I
I
told him.
wanted to
Next day,
get
the
the
manager comes to me and we had a long talk in his
perfectly.
office, during which he told me he realized, only after being asked about it by his boss, that he was totally treating me like crap every morning. He
Let's just fucking
apologized,
lie now.
stopped fraternizing with the girls, and has treated me fine ever since. So
I feel
sometimes,
like
apparently,
I have
this
like
is a bit of a big deal.
stamina in my
I'd say the
hand
issue
to
you
continue.
experienced wasn't just so-and-so doesn't say hello to me. It was so-and-so treats me notably different and worse than my colleagues, performing an identical job function, and the difference in treatment appears to be
Okay.
based on gender. The former is a BS complaint. The latter is quite significant. This was about 10 years ago. A guy in accounts pretended his wife had died. He faked her funeral, took compassionate leave, quite a lot of extra leave, as his wife was Indian and he claimed he had to go to India to sort out her estate. He was given £500 from an office collection. Unfortunately, he hadn't let his wife in on the scam, and she had phoned the office looking for him one afternoon. I believe the complaint that came in from his supervisor was, you know X's wife has died? Well, I just had a phone call from the afterlife. He was fired on the
Oh,
spot, sued for his extra leave, and is the reason we ask grieving workers for death certificates before we allow any extra paid time off. Oh no, sorry, I meant my other wife. I mean, saying your grandmother died is one thing, but what was his plan? You can only fake your wife's death for so long.
this is like
We had a guy like that. Never could prove that this stuff didn't happen. Apparently his
toughest
wife,
thing
girlfriend,
to
change from
like
today,
archive
his
on
18-year-old son and
original
his dad all had a stroke in the same month. Then his mum died.
ga
Then he leaves
Game
one
Boy like
morning
this.
saying his dad is back in hospital.
Nine
Shows back
nine
tomorrow
hard
around
start.
1 saying, yeah, I just had to
This
pull the
one.
plug on my dad. Not an easy thing to do.
Unless
As he was
you
totally
don't count
unfazed otherwise.
like
We were able to prove that he was going out to his car several times a
okay, I'll
day to
try to
drink,
focus now.
but I feel like you
Unless
could
you
prove
count
that when
the
girls all have strokes, and 2 of them not being of so much
thousand
age, and then
lines,
having both of your parents die all
which
within
would
2
be
months is a little
no, not
suspicious,
thousand lines. I mean
especially
like
when you
to
just
get like
casually
max
pulled the
out,
plug on your dad.
get
Also,
10,000
we
lines.
weren't able to find any records of obituaries or death certificates anywhere. And the
That would
funeral
be like
office he got from the funeral
the
set didn't list anything
hardest
that could be his
one to
parents' second
accomplish.
funerals, the 2 dates he took off work. So either he was a bald-faced liar,
But yeah,
or
this is
he
like
was the most unlucky man in the world for a short period. I'm as amazed by the gall of these particular people as I am disgusted by the behavior, to be honest. I used to help my HR team in organizing a summer event for families. Nothing special, just a grill party for employees with some extra events for children. This was a large company of around 300 employees. A week before the event, one guy raised 8 crap hell because we chose a date when his daughter was on summer camp.
okay,
You should
okay.
have told him that was exactly why you chose the date. Summer camp sounds more fun anyways, honestly. Some people are so entitled. One woman in the US sued a school because her daughter had something else she wanted to do on prom night. So unbelievably, they sued the school to change the prom night.
Come on, come on, come
Because
on,
for
come
everyone
on.
else,
Okay.
the only thing that matters or has a life is me and my family. My company has had some serious what the frick moments. Take down pictures of World War II airplanes because our German customers might take offense. Had a phantom crapper who wrote F you on the wall in feces and laid one in a newly installed toilet. It wasn't even plumbed in yet, they just cramped in a waterless toilet and left it for someone else to sort out. We had a guy who got caught sleeping at work for the 3rd time. When the shift leader gave him a talking to, the guy complained to HR that he was being victimized. During the subsequent investigation, it was found via CCTV that the worker was going to his car and doing smack.
Yay!
Positive substance test.
Almost,
These are just some of the ones that
I
turn
almost
out to be
fucked that one up
not what you would
because
expect from multi-billion-dollar
I
aerospace
tapped on
billionaire.
the like little bit edge
Unless
on.
you're
I
impolite, the
I
doctor called me fat.
almost missed my
Looked at the patient weight.
D-pad there, but
Patient was
luckily
unambiguously fat.
I got it.
BMI of 50 plus. The doctor was giving results of positive tests for
That's like
non-proliferative
the
fatty liver
thing
disease
on this
and
one that you need to
corresponding
be
dietary advice. Wrote the patient an
like a
apology
difference
letter,
between
truly hinting that
NES and
trusting
this
words
one
was
because you
not
need to be
ideal
like
and perhaps
super
a slow
agile
doctor's advice was good.
with the
Dear patient, the
going
doctor
left and right because
misspoke.
the pieces are
He meant to
coming
say morbidly
so much
obese.
faster
The doctor misspoke.
right
He meant to
when
say
there's no burning.
there she blows. Man the
There's not no
harpoons.
delay.
I'm picturing Dr. House apologizing this way. My mum, who works for the state, had to deal with an employee who was catching pigeons at work property and then taking them home to barbecue them. I have a huge list. A manager who complained that a guy's accent was too thick. After speaking with the manager, who frequently uses politically incorrect slang, and the heavily accented gentleman, I can honestly say the manager was the issue, and that guy didn't even have a very thick accent.
Come on.
A guy kissing his
Yes.
girlfriend
Whew.
hello after finishing
I
work.
was afraid the
This was
game was there
reported as a
already.
homophobic act. A guy who kept asking people if they were on break at the same time, as he likes to pray with them. Frequently. A woman calling herself the B word and another employee reporting her for insulting an employee. Yes, the actual complaint stated that she called herself the B word. A girl complaining that another guy was stalking her every night. She would ask a guy to escort her to her car. It was the same guy. That one was weird. She actually used his parking space at his house to save money since he lived close to work. She then later complained that he stopped letting her do this. I can only assume due to the stalking complaint. A manager reporting every single one of his employees in his branch for coming in late. Turns out he had told them to come to work an hour early, unpaid, but they came in 15 to 30 minutes early instead, unpaid, so he tried to write them all up. A male customer called his boyfriend so gay. When the employee told him not to be homophobic, he replied they're gay and lovers. She then asked for them to kiss to prove it. That one had a ton of people in stitches over how this woman literally lives a Futurama skit life.
Come on, come
I
on,
don't
come on,
know
come on.
Futurama, but I swear I've
Oh,
seen a show
nice,
where two
nice,
people
nice,
pretend to be gay for a super awkward
nice.
kiss.
Very
What
nice.
size of company do you have to run for these things to happen with this frequency?
Boom.
Or is real life actually like the Office TV show? Also, I think the cartoon that last person was thinking of was Family Guy. One of my favourites from the other half who is in HR. So Mr. Blue and Miss Pink work together for some time. At some point, their inter-office flirting becomes too much for Miss Pink, and she goes to
Fuck.
HR.
Why did I
Apparently,
do
Mr.
that? It
Blue
was
wants
exactly
several
what I was telling
texts making her
before, like
wishes that the married Miss Pink does not want and needs to
no
stop.
use to adjust
Mr. Blue is pulled into
for
HR and they go over
single to
his
double,
behavior.
like that's just
He's
fucking
going to be
stupid.
suspended while
And I
things
just
turn out
tried to
if
do
he'll be
it.
terminated. It's correctly pointed out that this is very inappropriate
Luckily we
behavior.
got it
He
under
seems to
control.
understand, but something's off with him. Then he asks, is she saying she didn't want me to do this? Yes, comes the answer. This isn't something that coworkers do. You're single and don't understand the full scope of what's going on. Hold on a
But
sec.
yeah, if I'm
Mr.
gonna
Blue pulls out his
line
phone
out,
and
then I'm
shows a
gonna have to
text to
get to
Miss Pink of
1,000
her
lines almost.
undressed,
So
spread eagle along with a sticky
that's
note.
well.
And another, and
Here we
another.
go.
I'll send them to you for your research. HR regroups, ends the meeting, and does more investigation. Turns out they'd been doing the deed for months. The husband was getting suspicious, and she needed an out. They both got disciplined by HR, though her marriage fell apart and she had to carry the knowledge with her that most of HR had seen her naughty bits. You can submit your own stories to be featured here on the channel. The story submission link is in the description below. And if you want to listen to some vibey music in the background, check out Easy Mode, also linked below, and subscribe. The most what the heck complaint I've seen is finger guns being banged in a workplace. Someone
Nice.
complained that they felt threatened by someone making finger guns in the air and filed a complaint. And I guess since that was creating a hostile work environment for that employee, they had to send a memo that it was unacceptable behavior. I guess it's all how you imagine it. Most people make them all friendly and nice, but maybe you're alone in the office and Mike, who's made it clear he really doesn't like you, walks in, stands in front of you, glowers and stares you in the eye, slowly raises his double-barreled finger gun, levels it at your face, pulls the imaginary trigger, turns away, and quietly goes about his business without ever saying a thing. Is that HR worthy? In my humble opinion, I think you need to wink if you do the finger guns, otherwise it is hostile. Not HR, but a friend who owned his own company told me about having to fire a guy
Yeah.
for
You
picking
know,
up a working girl in a marked company
Vittu.
vehicle.
I thought I'm
So
gonna get a
basically,
Tetris. I'm like,
instead
yeah,
of being
yeah,
a
yeah.
professional
There is
employee,
a
you have
fucking
driven a
triple.
company car. Whenever I drive one, I'm the most cautious, courteous driver on the
I was
road.
already
I
happy
avoid
about
sliding
the
small
Tetris.
bumps, letting people pass
Fucking
me,
hell.
and not cutting people off, without phoning while driving. But I feel like I'm constantly seeing others in a company car that are some of the most aggressive and horrible drivers doing the exact
That was
opposite of
stupid,
me.
but
It's just kind of like, why would I ever want to buy something from your company when you act like that?
yeah, I'm
You're
gonna take.
clearly giving me hope
It's
for a
a
bad past.
triple.
I know the people in HR pretty well. My work used to let people dress up for Halloween each year. Company is about 350 people in size. People used to have a blast. There would be parties and contests for costumes and pumpkin carving, etc. I would guess about 65 to 70% of the building would get really into it every year. One lady complained to HR that some of the costumes were upsetting to her because they were satanic. We're talking vampires here, folks. Freaking Dracula. Like the classic teeth, black cape, white skin template vampire we all know. That was the end of Halloween for the entire building. I hate that B word. I would distribute pentagram necklaces and encourage people to join me in worshiping the Dark One, just to get her
Please,
back
please,
for
please,
that
please,
nonsense. If
please.
someone can show me where vampires
Yes.
appear in the Bible and
Boom.
personally attack the various protagonists,
Oops.
maybe I'd say they have a fringe case, but
I
even then,
didn't
who
mean to do that.
cares? Silly, bored Bible Karens. The new recruitment manager was sending inappropriate and very explicit text messages to female job seekers. You know what? He didn't last very long. He didn't last long in what sense? In my office, there was a huge deal if you kept finishing the pot of coffee without starting a new one. Let me tell you, some office workers had to go
Let's
4
go,
or
let's
5
go.
minutes without coffee, which caused chaos. I'm thinking it was you. I've done a lot of bad things in my life, but I would never leave a coffee pot empty. Did you do those bad things because some F word left the coffee pot empty? Chewing too loud? Typing too loud? Had to go home because it's cold? Hottest month on record and the AC in
Come
the
on.
storeroom next room over is dying, and they can hear him. Direct quote. Apparently, he was laughing from across
I
the
forgot
building,
that
not
it's not
loudly, and they were not okay with it.
J.
I
He's
once nearly
manageable
tossed the
anymore.
keys to a fellow employee. It's something I often do, but this particular employee didn't like me. Later on, I was asked by my manager why I threw the keys at my coworker. Apparently, my coworker told them that I got angry and huffed and chucked the keys at his chest. I was utterly flabbergasted that I was considered to be the one in the wrong. When asked the
Wait,
standard,
what?
what should you do
Okay,
next
let's
time
put
to
it
make sure
there.
this didn't happen again, I didn't know what to answer. I considered answering that maybe my coworker shouldn't be
And
such a wussy B-word. Luckily, my team leader stepped in and told me the right answer was not to toss the keys next time. After the meeting, I busted up laughing. It became something of a running joke with my other coworkers whenever we tossed the keys to each other. Next time, make a point by slowly placing the keys on the floor and backing away slowly. You might get another
okay.
complaint, but
Okay.
that would be funny. We had an issue with scented things in our office. Some people had a sensitivity and there was little airflow. So if someone sprayed something, they had issues. But that's not the bad part. It ended up being a feud between two sections that had to be mediated by HR. On the sensitive side, there was a supervisor who looked for reasons to write up those who might be wearing something scented. She tried to write up someone for wearing a scented deodorant and someone else for carrying scented lotion in their
I
purse.
tried to follow the
That's the
chat, but
only
this is
perky bit, by the way.
too
It didn't help that the
hard.
sensitive one
Some
advised
weird
the cleaner
Finnish dudes.
mightly and go home if she even
Are you
suspected someone was wearing
maybe
a scent. They ended up
Hepta
sorting the
Akatu?
whole issue by setting a shop and monitoring the
Yeah,
sale
they
of
are
some new lotion. They all talked about how good it smelled. Strangely, the
Finnish Game Boy
sensitive one
Tetris
got a migraine
players
and the entire group was called into the office to be written up because even the supervisor could smell the
who
non-existent
both are
lotion in her office.
awesome at
Called out on it, HR
NES
had to come
Tetris
in and put a
also.
stop to the whole issue. I understand that people have sensitivity to smells. I'm one of them. Old lady perfume makes me have an asthma attack. And the beginning of it was reasonable. People followed the rules. But
Yay!
this turned into a
Like that
witch
was
hunt
good.
on one side with someone
Good to
taking
get the
advantage of it. At
triple
one point, the
ah,
supervisor demanded to search people's purses and bags to make sure they
cause
weren't bringing in scented
you
items.
get a
Didn't
lot
even
more
have to be
points.
using them. HR did have to tell her that it was illegal, though. It's funny how tribal people can become in the workplace over a prolonged period of time. Boredom and perceived injustices can combine to mutate into some truly absurd fights. HR worker here. There's always the standard stuff. I got gypped on paid time off, overtime, and hours. Some of my other things are an employee stealing a work truck and driving to a gambling town, pawning work tools in said truck, gambling all the money away, getting drunk, crashing said work truck, falling asleep at the wheel, and found by the cops
Shit,
in the
that's
morning.
not good.
He then complained that none of it was specifically forbidden in the handbook. We offered him
Okay.
Cobra
Yes,
because
yes, yes,
he
yes, yes, yes,
was
yes.
hearing that his actions fell under gross
Fuck.
malfeasance. One lady cashed her check twice by mobile deposit, then taking it to a check
Ah,
cashing
fuck.
place. Once the company asked if he could make the 401k waiting period 10 years. Another guy took a loan against his 401k for custom motorcycle parts. That's not a complaint.
Fuck,
It's
yes,
just
yes,
what
yes,
I heard.
let's
I had a
get
guy
it.
complain that we took too much for child
Ah,
support.
come on, come on, come
He
on.
had 6 orders, a different lady each.
Whew.
That mother fricker was fertile. A pregnant EE who sat right by the break room
We
every
might
day
get
and
out of
complained
this.
about the lady microwaving salmon for lunch every fucking day. Spoiler,
Yes,
it was me who
fucking
complained.
yes.
Had a voicemail from
Whew,
a
I
former
don't want to.
employee complaining that he was fired for bullcrap reasons. I saved that voicemail for a long time, but the one
I don't want to replay this anymore.
married jerk
No,
winking at
like.
ladies, but he's connected, so he gets a small talking to. The behavior stops. That's good, right? The receptionist doesn't show up to work. Then we get a call that the
Whew,
receptionist
fuck
was
my
fired.
heartbeat.
Turns out she was sleeping with that flirty jerk and doing crystal at work.
Fucking
It
hell.
shouldn't have caused such a huge ruckus, but the flirty jerk is married to the owner's sister, plus Crystal. She's in rehab, and the flirty jerk has to tell his wife that it happened in their own bed. That spongy mofo wouldn't even
Oh.
spring for a cheap motel.
Come on, come on, come on, come on.
I'm in HR. I've had a few what the heck complaints. Employee complained about other people's perfume affecting her allergies but wore heavy perfume herself. She said everything outside her home gave her allergies. With a doctor's note, she was allowed to work from home, but was more than happy to come to company events and get wasted. Yeah, that makes total sense. We also had an employee who was abrasive, rude, arrogant, and actively tried to get people fired. And he was a
Yay,
flirtations with
700k.
women as well. There were several complaints about the guy. The what the heck
Not sure if I
was
make
no matter how
PB,
much
will I be
documentation
happy?
collected
Well,
about him,
probably.
the executives
Probably,
refused to disclose it because
but
he'd been at the
yeah,
company for 20 or more
let's
years
see.
and had a unique wealth of knowledge that would be extremely hard to
Can't remember
replace.
exactly
We
what
also
my
had an
PB is. It's on the
executive who
screen, but
scared
I
the
don't want to
department so
zoom in
much
and now.
that
But
people were
it's
afraid to
something
use the bathroom.
740,
If some people took maybe a minute too long
something
in the
like that.
bathroom,
So
the supervisors grilled the
we are
person
getting
about where they
pretty
were and sometimes
close.
penalized them for that. The supervisors were under so much pressure from the exec, it took a long time because people were too afraid. But finally, some people came forward to us about the issue, and we put a stop to it immediately. HR is an interesting world, but it can be very stressful and at times lonely. Where I work, we have mandatory inappropriate behavior prevention training. The person who teaches it told us that they had, in the recent past, received some complaints about people holding the door open for them. The lady felt she was getting harassed because of it. They mentioned they didn't do anything about it except try to explain to the lady that the person was more than likely just being nice. I was threatened with a write-up for that once. The lady was walking down the hall with a container of documents in her arms. I was next to the door and held it. She even thanked me. A couple of days later, I was brought into the HR office with my manager and told my conduct was perceived as sexist. They had a write-up for me, and I decided not to get pushed around. I told them I was being polite to someone with an armload of stuff, and unless the person who complained is going to do my job for them when I quit, they'd better tear that up. My manager and the HR rep had a talk, and the write-up was misplaced, never to be seen again. I don't know if that lady I held the door for was the one who complained. Probably someone else who wanted to stir the pot in the office. Talking to an employee about
Come on, come
she complains because I wasn't telling her how
on.
great she is after every
Ah,
text she sent. One of our biggest customers is a large
what the
electronics
fuck was
manufacturing
that?
company in France and the UK. We regularly get requests
Shit.
from them for meetings about something or other. At one such meeting,
Whew.
one of the visitors told us
God
about
damn, I got
Steve.
lucky there.
Steve was
God
always
damn.
finishing during lunch break and nobody knew where he went until
Whew.
he was discovered in the toilets one day. Another toilet user noticed a foot twitching beneath
Fucking
the door
hell.
and called out, receiving
Give
no
me some
answer. So they tried
little
the
bit
door
better
and
pieces,
obviously it
please.
was locked. Fearing the worst, he went for help. The first aider came back with him and called, no answer, so he entered the adjacent
I'll
cubicle,
fucking burn
stood on
this
the
one.
log, and
What
looked
the?
over the partition wall. Steve was whacking away like his life depended on it. He received a warning for that. A few weeks later, it happened again, only this time it was a female first aider who got a free show. A month later, it happened a third time, only this time, Steve didn't plug his earphones into his smartphone properly, and so was broadcasting the guttural sounds of a hardcore
I
adult
want to know.
throughout the toilet.
Oh, 762, so not yet.
He was fired. He claimed under
Mm.
dismissal on the grounds that nowhere in the employee handbook does it say that what he was doing was illegal
Let's
on
get.
company grounds.
Ooh,
It was
okay,
during his
okay,
own
okay,
time and not during
okay.
work time.
Nah,
He ended up
I
getting
was
his
just
job back.
playing
What's the
chill
most
here.
chaotic good act that you've ever witnessed? My former employer had a metered
Ah.
parking lot. The lot was heavily monitored and they'd ticket you like the minute your crap expired. It's decidedly not good for business. People want to be able to linger in a coffee shop, you know? Besides, there was no reason for that lot to be metered anyway.
Oh yes, 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 yes. And this is definite PB now, or is it? Maybe, maybe, definitely, maybe
It would
PB.
get fixed by the city, but then a few days later, it'd be smashed or jammed or whatever. We asked if people would be towed, and the city was like, no meter, no tickets. One night I stayed a bit late to keep the freezer. When I left, I spotted my boss breaking the freshly fixed meter. She was like, yep, guess I'm a criminal, huh? I once counseled one of my students in my homeroom to quit school.
Can I get 7777777? Is it like, because I have 7 as the last number, it's like, come on, please.
The kid was failing all of his classes, which were not great courses, but he was smart,
Yes.
working a full-time job, and was already 18 years old and had a crappy home life.
Let's get max out.
For a determined and hardworking kid who doesn't
That's
drive
my
like
next
me.
one.
Good for you. He probably makes good money and has a stable job.
And after that one, then there's only world record, and I need to get like more than almost 3 million points. Because Scooty one time got a little bit excited and made improved world record by a bit.
Pretend that I do try to get you to do your schoolwork so that the principal doesn't figure out that I let you sleep in my class. I'll let you sleep all you need because I know you work late.
Okay.
Meanwhile,
Yes.
here are practice materials for the GED.
Yo ho ho.
So you don't forget anything.
Supreme
As soon as you
pieces.
can do it, go and take that test. This confused a few classmates since they knew I wouldn't allow them to sleep in class even though I allowed him to do so without penalty. This was back in the late 1950s when my granddad was just a teenager, 14 to 15 years old, and he lived in a rural area in Arizona. This relatively new family in town was arousing suspicion because the wife and kids were always banged up. My grandpa's stepfather spoke to the man at the house and told him that people could see what he was doing to his family and he needed to stop. When he didn't stop, my grandpa's stepdad excused himself for dinner one night and left the house for the evening. The following day on the way to school, my granddad was on the bus and drove across a field where Family Man McGee was tied to one of the posts, beat to holy heck. My granddad, the bus driver, and the oldest student helped untie the guy and got him onto the bus so that he could get back home. No one talked about it, but apparently my grandpa's stepdad and a couple of other local guys caught up to the guy and beat the crap out of him so that he'd know how his defenseless family had it. Saying he excused himself paints such a good picture of him politely dabbing the corners of his mouth with his napkin and slowly pushing back from the table, just to go and grab this dude and whip his butt. This is indeed a satisfying story. One that we should probably try and replace with getting the cops and CPS involved in the modern day and age, though. When I used to walk home from class at night, there's this guy that would always call me gangster, major respect, but never anything else. For the reference, I'm a 19-year-old short Hawaiian girl and not very threatening looking. We'll call this guy JD. He'd ask how my day was, if I'm getting home okay.
Come on. I'm getting scared.
A couple of times I'd be having a bad day, and this guy, who was outside, rain or shine,
Okay,
would
let's
always
take a
say hi
triple.
to me. One day I was walking back, and he was talking to a buddy. Said buddy looked over at me and whistled, to which JD whacked him on the shoulder and said angrily, "Show some respect," and smiled at me and said, "Hope you have a good night, gangster. I hope he's doing
Fucking hell, what the fuck was that idea?
the guy picking up litter thrown out of his car before
This is not
physically
great.
throwing the passenger out. Threw into a park, turned on his
Whew,
hazard lights,
that was
waved
lucky.
the vehicle behind to alert me,
That was
and
very
finally
lucky.
picked up and throwing out the trash. I don't care if it's staged or real, it was a delight to watch. A friend of mine had a roommate that stole a painting that was given to my friend. The roommate claimed that it was his and refused to return it. So I broke into their
I
house
want
and
to get
spent the
8, 8,
night
8, 8,
silver
8.
painting back.
If you
I
noticed,
didn't tell
I
anyone and kept it at my house
took
until the
one more.
roommate moved out. My
One
friend
more.
finished painting and now we're united.
No,
The
but I
cube
think I
storage was
didn't
a
get
real piece of
it.
work.
But
I
there's
do this
like
kind of stuff
always
to everyone.
a
There's
small
one dude
chance
that I know
you
who
might get
hangs
it.
complained about him, and he also brags about stealing stuff from people. The painting was given to my friend as a present.
99999 is like pretty easy to get, except if you're, especially if you're playing on the
During the moving process, the roommates took the painting and hid
original
it from my friend for weeks. Then
card.
at the new place, he revealed the painting to my friend and
So I'm
explained
playing
that
with
he wanted the
the
paint
one
back.
that it's
I caught wind of this story and decided to take matters into
counting
my own
points over
hands.
the maxout.
The city of Sao Paulo never cleaned its tunnels, so they got black from all the cars' fumes over the years. This guy cleaned the stone
900k,
floorings of the facilities and ran out some
motherfuckers!
water. The city sent officials to try and stop
700
him,
blinds.
but hey, he was cleaning. No vandalism there. Eventually, they sent someone with a hose to clean this guy's vandalism for good, only to discover how dirty the walls truly were. That reminds me of the one where people spray painted wangs on potholes in the road to force the city to fix them faster. Something similar is happening in Cologne in Germany. They have these incredibly dirty walls, so some people took it upon themselves to do art with pressured sand. The city is against it, so they clean the parts of the walls where there is art. It's called reverse graffiti. If the city catches you, they fine you, since it's treated like real graffiti.
Okay, now I have 9 left as last number, so I can get 9999, which on this one is, well, actual score 9999 would be equally as difficult on
Casey
both.
himself wasn't exactly an upstanding citizen. He moved around a lot and dabbled in crystal. He grew huge green herb plants and
How
ran
cool would
schools
it be
around
to
town.
get the
He was
99999,
generally the kind of guy
and that
who
would
liked
be
you,
like your final
except
score?
everyone in town knew Casey, and
I
everyone
would be
trusted him
tempted to do it,
completely.
but
If someone had
no,
a
that,
really deep
yeah,
or relatively large
it
population
wouldn't
of
be like
crystal
a
heads in
real
town,
a
you'd
real
never find
score if you
Casey.
like
He'd bash
stopping the
heads in
game
and shame people
game
until
into
either
it.
left
So
or towed the line.
yeah,
Imagine an incredibly white trash paladin with a series of crippling vices and a children's bicycle.
oh, actually I need 10 points
Made wax out of green
more.
herb in his spare time. This is
Okay,
unsurprising because Casey can make
on,
literally anything.
I don't know,
Anyway, I'm out
stop
of town
fucking
one day and
thinking of the
Casey comes
stupid
knocking on my door
score.
looking to share his new bounty.
Just get the fucking max out, fucking 999.
A normal person would have put the wax out in waxed paper.
That's just fucking stupid.
It on my porch. Not Casey.
Like
Casey
seriously,
very generous
dude,
amount of
focus,
wax all
focus.
over my metal doorknob.
No, 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 no.
To tell me he did this. I came
Yeah,
home late that night and put my hand on the doorknob and then looked
fucking
softly at my
numbers. I want the
light
max
until it
out.
was unexpectedly sticky. It was good wax though. About the great
Come
painting
on.
contests.
Okay, good.
When contestants do cry, out of frustration or disappointment generally, Mel and Sue stand near them and use unairable language, so the embarrassing footage is tainted and won't make it into the final edit. And strangely enough, I've heard that the unairable language is
Come on, come on, come on,
predominantly
come on.
brand names rather than cursing. Imagining Mel and Sue having an entire conversation completely in brand names, simultaneously ruining footage and making the upset contestant laugh. Two older British women standing next to a man crying over a souffle, just chanting the C word over and over. I love this image and I will think of it whenever I'm feeling low. Thank you, imaginary versions of Mel and Sue. When I was in high school, I was an extremely troubled teen. Legal trouble, substance usage, violence, mental illness, failing every class, the whole gamut. When I was in 11th grade, I was put into a special education
Not the
program for
piece I
people like
wanted
me.
there,
And
but
I did wonderfully. I adored my teachers and vice versa.
we'll
One teacher in
manage.
particular was amazing. She helped me set goals, get on track.
Yes.
She even helped me find my first real job. My senior year, I was doing really well in my classes, but the school was set up like a college in that you needed a set amount of credits to graduate, and I was woefully short. I still needed something like 22 or 24 credits. Completely impossible to make up in my last year. Even though I was doing well, there was no chance I was going to graduate. So my lovely teacher started digging through my record. She somehow converted my community service, treatment stays, makeup time,
very close, but no 99999. But fuck yeah! Max out on
by the end of my senior year, I had 1/2 credits
heart.
to make up with summer school.
And now we'll just get the world record,
To this day, I have no idea
or
how she did it, but she absolutely changed
brain
my life.
damage,
Thanks,
either
Mrs. Johnson.
or.
on social media as the modern-day Robin Hood after he kidnapped two nurses, stole vaccines and syringes, and ordered the medical staff to inoculate residents in one of the poorest areas in the country's southeast. Thomas Vieira Gomez has made
I'm getting
headlines in the local press for actions
thirsty
towards
already,
him
but
in the past year, even as authorities have issued successive warrants for his arrest. His most recent gesture of
kind of
generosity
can't
to
get
combat malaria,
anything
which
right
has
now.
swept poverty-stricken areas of Brazil, has seen him lauded primarily as a hero rather than a villain. The substance gang leader, known on the
But
streets
yeah,
as 2N, held
if I
hostage
really
two
want
nurses for
to
about
get
a day
the
center before transporting them
like
around
world
the
record,
world
I
to one of the
really need
poorest
to start to
favelas in Rio de Janeiro. The Latin
making
American
some
television
Tetrises
station
here,
Telesur
cause
reported that
yeah,
Gomez's gang oversaw the nurses as they
I
administered
just
vaccinations
can't
over
last
a 2-hour
that
period
long.
in the
I
Salgueiro
just know it.
favela. Once they'd finished administering the injections, they were
Or
returned to their
think,
workplace. In a
because
reported
yes, Kuri was
incident,
doing
one
like
of the
a lot
workers
of
said their
Tetrises
kidnappers treated them
on
well and without any aggression. They said they'd complied with the
his game,
hostage
and
takers because many Salgueiro residents hadn't been given
even though it
access to
lasted like
immunization
for
centers.
a few thousand
Despite the
lines
illegality
maybe,
of Gomez and
but
his
still
gang's
like yeah,
actions, officials have praised the hostage taking. Carlos Mink, a state
there's still
secretary and a former minister of the environment,
a
wrote
lot
on
to
Twitter that the immunizations had
do.
been done as an act of public service. You can submit your own stories to be featured here on the channel. The story submission link is in the description below. And if you want to listen to some vibey music in the background, check out Easy Mode, also linked below, and subscribe. I once caused traffic to come to a standstill on a 5-lane highway because a dog was running around and
But
narrowly
yeah, let's
avoiding
just
being hit several times.
increase the
I pulled my
score
car to the
bit by bit
shoulder and
and
jumped out to try and get the dog
have
off the
some fun.
highway. Seeing this, several people got out of their cars to
Who the
help.
fuck would be
After about
having
10
fun
minutes of
playing
us trying
Tetris?
to chase this dog off the highway,
Okay,
the owner comes and the dog jumps right
I
into her
sometimes.
car. Everyone else gets in their car and leaves while I'm talking to the very
Fuck.
relieved owner who couldn't believe all of these people got out to try and save her
Ah!
dog. Once she gets in her car and
Shit,
leaves,
I totally lost like
a 5-lane
my
highway for
tapping
my
there.
car, and no one is
Ah.
stopping to let me pass. Finally, a trucker must have noticed my predicament and starts cutting off traffic, and he slows down so that I could walk to get to
Hey,
my car.
GG.
Another trucker